I didn't come to Albania just to bike. I came here because I noticed how often I live life with the blinders on, chasing distance, chasing goals, chasing something just out of touch. And in that focus, I sometimes forget to slow down and feel the places I'm lucky enough to exist in. This was my chance to change that. Albania is unlike anywhere else I've been. For decades, it was locked away under one of the most isolated governments the past has seen. Few people came in and few could ever leave. But that isolation has conserved something scarce, a place still untouched, still untamed, and still deeply connected to its people and its land. I wanted to see that, not behind a bus window or behind the eyes of a guide, but slowly at the pace of my pedals. So I built a journey that would take me far beyond the usual paths, into the mountains, into distant villages where life hasn't changed much. For me, this wasn't about finding the smoothest or fastest way. It was about immersing myself into the unknown, opening up to a place I knew almost nothing about, and seeing what it might teach me about toughness, about kindness, and maybe even about myself. This is that journey.
So, I'm in Albania. It's my second day here. I got here yesterday, but my bike didn't turn up. So, I'm back at the airport, just picked up my bike, and it is time to get on the move. So, the plan is I need to get to a hotel to leave my bike box behind, and then I'll pick it up once I'm done. The plan was to get a taxi, but all the taxis here are charging an insane amount. So I'm just gonna build my bike up and see if I can bike to the airport bike to the hotel holding the bike box, which isn't gonna be easy. I'm a day behind schedule, so today is gonna be a double distance day. But yeah, for now, I just need to get moving, and I'll kind of fill you in on the plan in a little moment. The deviates fold up into a convenient little nugget. Means the box can be about half the size. Makes things super easy to fly with, to get in taxis when they actually don't want to mess you over. Takes a little bit longer to assemble, but I think it's well worth the effort. So I'm all packed up, loaded, and gonna go bike 8 kilometers to this hotel and dump my bike box there. Here's the setup. I'm hoping it's gonna hold together. Okay, so finally managed to get on the move and settle in. I've been going about 2 hours so far. Yeah, this morning was a bit hectic. So much didn't go to plan, but if there's a will, there's a way. Managed to make it all happen. And yeah, we'll see how far we get today. So I'm on a bit of a schedule. I've got, I think, 6 days here, and my flight is booked out. So basically I'm now down a day since my bike didn't turn up yesterday. That means I've got to make up some distance. The first leg that I was meant to do yesterday was about 135 kilometers. So the plan is to do that today, plus a bit more. Because of all the faff this morning, I've started quite late, and now it's midday. I'm getting absolutely scorched in the heat, but I managed to get out of the main city, which was just carnage. Now I'm in some smaller towns, which is equally kind of just as sketchy, but slightly less busy, so it's more manageable. Yeah, kind of hoping it gets a bit quieter. I've kind of been biking along the sea, and I'll start to meander more inland soon and into the hills. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated. I hope I can be along here. Looks like they're putting some new tar seal down. I've just been biking along beside the highway for the last 10 kilometres. It's not that nice, but quite stoked that I'm not actually on the highway. Well, that's the first for me. I was just biking past this town. Next minute, there's a glass bottle getting lobbed at me. Luckily it missed, but it smashed. That was odd. And now I'm actually on the state highway. So I've got 7 kilometers on this. Gonna have to be super careful. There's not much of a verge. Yeah, just gonna get my head down and get this over and done with. So I've hit the hills, the speed has gone down and it has turned into an oven. It is so hot. It's about 36 today. Smoko, get some carbs in me. This is just a little snack and then I'll stop and get a good feed for lunch in about 2 hours, I think is the plan. So I'm back on the move, well fed, got some water too. I just chugged 2 litres of water actually. I've got 1 litre of water that's easily accessible and then I've got another 2 litres of water as backup that I'm saving for emergency use, just because it's so hot. I'm not acclimatized to this heat and I know at some point I'm heading into the middle of nowhere and I don't know what there's going to be in terms of water availability, so I've decided to take the weight penalty and just have some water there for safety. Got about 40 kilometers until the next town, so I'll have an early dinner there. I think the plan is to push on. So that town is where I was meant to stay last night. Of course didn't make it because I had no bike. Then we've got about 80 kilometers, 2,000 meters of climbing to push on to the next big town where I'd booked accommodation for tonight. We'll see if we can do it, but honestly I'm not phased about staying in accommodation. I've got all the camping gear I need and it's so warm out that yeah, it won't be an issue. I've got 5k to go. We're moving along now in the tuck position, sitting at about 35 kilometers an hour, so I should get there in 10 or so minutes. Okay, so I've made it into the town and now I'm on the hunt for some food, looking for something fast, but I want an actual meal. Gonna be keeping an eye out for something like that. It's looking like quite a nice little town so far. One hell of a spot in here. It's quite a cool little town. Mission successful. Just had a good feed and I'm now leaving town and kicking off what would have been the start of day 2. The plan was to start early this morning and beat the heat, because coming up is a massive climb. We're gonna ascend about 1,000 meters. It is gonna be savage in this heat. It's 32 at the moment. I'm cooking. So once I start climbing, the speed starts to get slower. I lose the wind. It's gonna turn into an oven. Yeah, it could be worse. It's nice and beautiful out. This is kind of where I start to head into the wilderness. I believe there's only small towns between here and where I'm planning on staying tonight, which is 80 kilometers away. So I've got 4 liters of water on me, a few snacks, and that should get me to the finish. It's been a savage climb so far. So loose and bumpy. Lots of sections which are just on the edge of being too steep with the weight I've got, but we're making it work. That almost ended me. I just had an hour and 15 minutes of hiker bike on super steep climb. Surface was so loose, just couldn't get a footing. Now I've come out onto a mountain highway that it looks like they've just built. How's that? It's quite soft. Oh, it's way better than that hiker bike. It's 6:50 and it's starting to get dark now. It's getting dark a lot earlier than I was expecting. Still got 40k to go and a couple big hills. So I'm starting to think I won't make it tonight. I'll be camping out, which is all good. Not too bothered, especially with how beautiful it is out here. Hey dog. You gotta be kidding me. I'm in the middle of absolutely nowhere and I think I just found a hotel, maybe some food. Oh, you're joking, please. I'm locked in. Made it out. What a wild place. Kind of planning on camping last night, but then stumbled upon the hotel in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It seemed fake, but it was an actual thing. So had some food, had a bed, had a shower. That was the best thing. Fed me up this morning as well, and now I'm going to be back on the move. It's 8 AM. I was planning on starting earlier, but the earliest they served food this morning was 7, so stuck about for that. Yeah, I got about 30 kilometres until the next town. The next 30 k's is mostly downhill. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get past. The guy's just on his phone as well, talking this whole time, I can see. So he's not paying too much attention. Just left Epelin, nice little town, quite a small little place, but you can just tell it's so old. I was on the hunt for a toilet, figured I'd just stop for some food, make use of a toilet in their facilities. So I got a little Peter thing, cost me the equivalent of like $1 USD. Yeah, stoked on that. Food is super cheap here. For example, a can of Coke here cost double that meal would have cost me. So good value. 35k to the next town. It's mostly flat, following the valley up. I mean, it's a steady climb up the valley, but nothing too bad. And then after that, I'll end up in Permit, stock up on some food, and then I'm into the mountains. Back on the highway, in kind of a little gorge. It's beautiful. What a spot. Back in the oven though, it is hot out. This was a must-have. It's a mouse cake. I think it's a mousse cake actually, but mouse. And then I got a couple cookies. There's like no indication on Google Maps or whatever of shops or cafes or anything. Although, have found online on a couple forums that there's a guest house all the way at the top of the mountain, which is about 1,000 meter climb away. So that's kind of the goal. I was planning on camping tonight. If I can manage to get a feed at the guest house tonight, I'm definitely gonna make use of that. I do have 2 bananas and some biscuits for dinner, worst case. I've got 5 litres of water on me. As I said, it's got 1,000 meters to climb, 40 k's until the summit, and then the descent back down to the valley floor, which is when I assume I'll be able to next get water. There's another 20 kilometers. I'm kind of expecting it's going to be 8 or so hours of biking until there's next water, unless I find some shops along the way, but I'd prefer to be safe and not get caught in a situation. Bike is feeling a bit sluggish. Happy to be playing that card. Oh, another pink bus. Just had my last water stop before I hit the hills. Chugged 1.5 litres of water. It just feels like I can't have enough water. I'm just constantly thirsty. Feeling super full and bloated at the moment, but I know I just need to keep up the water, otherwise I'm not gonna survive out here basically. It's conveniently a lot of bars and cafes, but this could be the last one for quite a while. In the national park now. Absolute scenes. Not a bad spot. So hot though. Oh my lord. savage. Well, I think it's gotten to that point. Okay, so I decided to stick a plug in it. I just cut off the end of it so there's nothing hanging out. Pumped up the tyre. Hopefully that fixes it, and we're good to continue. I just found another hole. You're joking. Hello. Hello, how are you? I have a pump. Have a good one. Still another few hours until I get to the end of today, I think. It's a slow going job out here. Spotted a village on the opposite side of the valley. Super small village. Man, I'm hoping I can somehow get some water there. That would be a lifesaver at the moment. I don't want to get my hopes up, but must be some people living here. No luck. Couldn't find anyone. Couldn't find any taps. Gotta keep on moving. Sun's getting lower, which means more shade, which is a delight. Okay, onto what I think is the final push. 8k, 250 vert, small downhill, and then I should be there. As soon as I saw goats, I was expecting dogs. Yeah, my understanding is the best thing to do is just get off the bike. Luckily, most of the time when I have seen those dogs, there's been a shepherd, which has held them back, which is good. Joking. Whew. Oh, that is exactly what we wanted. Made it to the town, now on the hunt for the guest house. Oh no. Guest house?
Guest house here.
Okay, perfecto.
Wagib!
Thank you. It just keeps coming. Homemade pasta. Insane. Into the night shift. The guest house didn't have space. They got a feed there, and it was awesome. I'll fill you in on that later. I'm just gonna get moving for now because the sun is going quick, but that was quite a special moment. Well, this is the setup. Bivy bag, sleeping bag, all my belongings, bike. Good night. Well, it's 5 in the morning. That was not the nicest sleep. I couldn't get comfortable, and then I just kept getting eaten alive by bugs. I don't want to go fully inside the bivvy because it was so warm, but getting into the little goodie pack the lady last night made me. Got a couple mega thick slices. Man, they've got some good girth to them. So I pulled up to that guest house. No one there spoke any English, so just going off by hand signals, but kind of worked out that there was no space in the guest house for me to stay that night, which was all good, but she was happy to make me some food. Had to communicate that I didn't eat meat, which was difficult, but in the end she ended up making me some homemade pasta, salad, and a couple eggs, which was amazing. She was super kind, got me some ice water, and all of that cost me like almost like no money. It's so cheap. As I was leaving, walking away, she pulled me back in, gave me a little goodie pack with this in it, and a couple lagers, however you say that, which I'm not planning on having, but I couldn't turn down. I attempted to give them back, but she insisted on me taking them. Yeah, it was quite cool. She just invited me into her house, and yeah, what a place. Awesome people. It's 7:15 and I've just packed up camp. Yeah, nice to kind of get an earlier start in. There was a bit of faff this morning. It was a bit of a slow one, but yeah, nice to chill as well and just take my time. So yeah, starting today off with a bit of a meander along the top of this hill, and then a big descent, and then got about, give or take, 1,000 meters of climbing, then a small descent, and then a cafe, which I'm most definitely planning on stopping off at. It's going to be another warm day. You can kind of see the sun coming up there and can feel the heat. And the day has only just begun. So I'm only 20 minutes in, and I just found a water fountain. So I've got a full bottle, so I'm just chugging that down now, topping up with some water, just because it's so scarce out here. I'll chuck a water tablet thing in there to make sure the water is safe. And that's the top of the pass. Now I've got about 1,000 meters of descending, which is going to be a blast. It's going to be a big job though. After busting my ass off all day yesterday climbing, I'm so stoked to see the valley floor I'm descending into. This is going to be mega. About 1,000 meters, here we come. Well, it just started to climb. This could quickly turn into a push. Steep and loose. But that descent was insane. About 15 minutes to get down. A big mix of surfaces. There's some fast, smooth stuff, some big chunk, awesome switchbacks, some awful switchbacks, and yeah, super fun, even on a heavy bike with slick XC tyres. So it's going to be about a 90-minute slog to get to the top of this pass. Then we'll descend a little bit, find the cafe. On the opposite side of the valley, there's some insane mosques. That place looks fake, whoa. But I think I'm heading up to that pass. I think I just found someone deserving of a couple lagers. Let's go, give them to him.
Albania.
Oh, yeah.
Grazie.
Ciao.
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 Albania.
Zealand. Zealand.
As Brazil?
No, no, Zealand. Zealand?
Zelanda.
Yeah. Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Oh.
Você. Hey!
Got some nuts. That's top of pass 1 for the day. Got a solid descent now, but cafe in 2 kilometres.
Okay. The boy 2 eggs,
Okay.
1 ration cheese, perimer. The boy the crab fin and honey.
Okay. She's put on an absolute feast for me. All homemade. Okay, I'm back on the move. Stopped there a lot longer than anticipated. Almost 2 hours. A lady took quite a long time to actually get on to making the food. Had quite a few garden chores to do, but anyway, that's all good. The feed was insane. The donut things were so good. The honey, so good. Stoked. It was worth the wait. Yeah, now into this big descent. Made it off the mountain. That was one chunky descent. That was loose. I was having to go so slow, be so careful, but we made it. Now I'm in a gorge, back on some tar seal, and we got 10 kilometres to the next town. I believe that's kind of the last big town for the next 24 hours. I'm hoping I get lucky tonight with the guest house. I've got one marked down on the map. I at least just want to feed, not too bothered about a bed. So I've just stopped for lunch. Next up is a 1,000 metre climb. In this heat, it's going to be no joke. So I'm going to take a moment, chill out, have a pause, and then get back into it soon. It's about 1:30 now. I think it'll be about 4 to 5 hours of biking until I get to tonight's goal destination, and then see what happens then. So at the moment I've got 5.5 litres of water on the bike. Just had 2 litres over lunch. I just cannot consume enough. It is so hot, and I know I'm gonna get absolutely cooked on this climb when I'm moving at about 4 kilometres an hour with no wind, fully exposed for a few hours. Here we go, onto the climb. There's a couple old bunkers just here. There's an army base a little bit down the valley in there. So a little bit over halfway in, 2.5 litres of water down. It is hot. There's no shade, although I've managed to find some here, and as soon as I found it, I stopped. I have had to lower the pace quite a bit, just so I don't overheat. I was going my normal pace before, and I was just cooking too much, so going snail pace, but it's a lot more sustainable in this heat. I think I can see the top of the pass. Oh my god. Oh. Man, that's almost making me emotional. There we go. That's the summit. 1,200 meters up. A bit over 1,000 meters of climbing to get here. That was a solid stint. Quite liking this shade just here. Now it's 12k to dinner. I think that's the plan. Potentially accommodation as well. There we go. Job done. Just pulled up to a guest house and they've got space. Gonna make me some food. Yeah, see how it turns out. 6 hours of biking today. Yeah, not the biggest day, but the heat made it honest work. Another killer feed. It's time to do some washing. That is disgusting. That's the end of the day. Had a nice chill evening. Got the washing done. Now doing some admin. So yeah, 6 hour day. Bit shorter than the others, but kind of nice to have a chill one. It was equally just as hard with the heat. Just can't hide. Being served food at 6:30 in the morning. Hopefully leave by 7 and get into it. Here's my washing. Oh, that's a little village. Bye. Thank you. Getting a little lost out here, but that's all part of the game. There we go. I think made it past that section. No clue what that building is. And now I'm walking because it's pure sand. This could be a long day. Hello. Hold on. This climb is awful, although I've just hit a nicer bit. Been sitting at about between 17 and 20% the whole time, and it's so loose. The wheels are just spinning up, and it's making it so much harder than it needs to be. You can see another steep section coming up. Holy. Insane. There we go. Going up that. So just look how hideous this is. Battling. Absolute scenes out here. Check that out. It is so sick. Made it to the top. That took about 2 hours. Man, the last 20 minutes of that was savage. It was all over 20%. I just couldn't walk up it either. It was easier to bike, but that was like on my limit. This is what I got to snack on. .25 k's until the lunch spot, so it's going to take about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours. Kind of mostly downhill, but there's a good few uphill pinches in it. But yeah, good to get that first climb out of the way. Stoked I decided to stay at accommodation last night. If I pushed on further, yeah, there wasn't many good camp spots, and it was good to be able to kind of do my washing, get a couple good feeds in, meet the awesome couple who manage that place, and also I needed some sleep. I think I'll be finishing up in a big town tonight, so I'd say the plan again is to just stay at accommodation to make things easy. Looks like I'm coming into a small village here. Here we go, and finally see the town. So I'm back on the move, leaving this little town. Spent about 90 minutes here, quite a bit longer than anticipated. I was enjoying being out of the heat and quite enjoying the people watching here. This town has the highest density of G-Wagons I've ever seen. About each 5th car is a G-Wagon with a teenager behind the wheel. Not gonna say it's dodgy, but it definitely feels all weird. Yeah, it feels like there's a bunch of young gangsters out here. Got about 1.4 thousand meters climbing and 55k to go, and all that climbing's in one chunk, but well fed, stocked up on 6 liters of water. I've hit the absolute jackpot for now anyway. That's one hell of a surface to be biking on. So much better than the chunk I've been used to the past few days. It's cooled off a little bit. The wind has picked up and it's getting funneled down this valley into me. It's a big headwind, but it is slightly cooler. Looks like a possible storm happening up over there, but we'll push on. Big lavender field. Smells so nice in here. Okay, here we go. Starting to get quite wet. Might wait this one out. See how it goes. Okay. So I just waited that out for 5 minutes. I was hiding inside there. I couldn't be bothered putting on my wet setup. I kind of figured this would pass quickly, and I think it has. I can see some blue sky up ahead, so just gonna get on with it now and see what happens. Yeah, it's most definitely coming down now. Gonna see if I can find some shelter. It's just a lone motorbike here. Okay, there's a village just up there, so I'm gonna go see if I can hide away in there somewhere.
See ya.
Hello, Matthew.
Koloni?
Zealand?
Hollanda?
Zealand. Hello.
Hallo.
Ja, Hollanda.
Hello.
Ja, maar je bent daar.
Është Raki shqiptare, nuk është e Hollanda.
Bravo bene, bio.
Make sure I was fed, looked after me, wanted me to take shots with him, gave me milk, and then they don't want to let me leave because of the storm's still kind of here. They wanted me to stay the night. They wanted to feed me again. So, blown away by their kindness. They didn't speak one word of English, and I only know how to say yes, no, and thanks in Albanian. So the conversation was slim. Yeah, it was heartwarming. Blown away by their kindness. Just the way of living up here. It is so isolated. It's the only building here. Not a single phone, iPad, computer, laptop in sight in their house. Something to aspire to. Still got about 30k to go, and still got to get over the pass. And I got 2 hours of sunlight left, maybe even less. So I got to get moving. In the thick of it now. It's cooled down enough that I can actually put down some power without overheating. We're on it. Well, now I can't even pedal the bike. Got mud tires. Yuck. It is so gloopy. I hope that is the top. Oh. Difficult.
Yes, it's wet.
Oh, okay, like slick.
You will see the car.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Be careful.
Okay.
After 2 kilometers, maybe
Okay,
a little bit. Be careful.
okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Ciao. I think that's maybe the last little pinch, and then it's kind of all downhill. Mostly downhill. The downhill is looking sketchy. Oh. You've got to be kidding me. At this point it might just be easier to leave the bike behind. The wheel is fully clogged up. The fork is borderline. This side is just an absolute state. Time to give the bike a clean. Although this water looks equally as muddy as the bike. Yeah, I think my bike's as good as it's going to get. What a state. Okay, I need to get moving. Sun is about to go behind the hill. I need to get food. Need to find some accommodation, and yeah. Well, that's the day over. Made it into the hotel. Had a sandwich for dinner. Even found some dessert. And that's the loop completed. So I was here on day one. Now all I've got left to do is bike back to the airport, which is a decent stint, but I think it's much flatter. So I'll catch you in the morning. And yeah, I'm in a bigger town, so should have some good food options in the morning. We'll see what's about. off we go. It's 8 AM. Today we're heading back to the airport. It's about 130 kilometres. Got a few hills in the first half of the day, and then going to stop and have a feast about halfway in. The bike is in a state. Just done my best to clean up the chain again. That was not looking good. It was still caked in mud despite washing it yesterday. Kind of expecting that I'm going to get a headwind at some point. Wind's been picking up about 10:30, 11, and it's kind of just been going the one way, which is where I'm heading today. It's a beautiful morning out, but the wind is awful. Big headwind all day, and I imagine it's only going to get worse. Into the hills I go. Couple tanks. Well, I've been led to a dodgy path. I don't think I'm getting down there or up the other side. Wild place. Made it down. I used those as steps. Had a little spooky dokey. Man, this place feels like I've teleported into the past. So fascinating. Quick water stop and back on the move. I can't imagine the phone's picking it up, but this is steep. No chance I'm biking up here. It also feels like I shouldn't be here. This is definitely someone's farmland, but we're going with it. On the last climb before lunch, 15 more minutes and we'll be there. Maybe another 45 to lunch. There we go. Gonna go find a supermarket, get some liquids, and then find somewhere quick and easy for lunch. Woo! Yeah, solid few hours in. Not feeling a lot of urgency today, in a positive way. Well, found a place. Attempted to order a veggie sandwich and some chips, so we'll see what comes out. They spoke no English, and I speak no Albanians. That's a win. Just finished up lunch, loaded up on some water, got another sandwich and chips. That's becoming the classic. It's quick and easy. Just leaving town and found this abandoned building. Yeah, 65k to go now, 30 kilometers until the sea, which would be nice. I think I'm charging into a big headwind now, but it's mostly flat, so the kilometers should come fairly easy. I'd like to think so anyway. Well, I'm getting absolutely savaged by this headwind. There's no shelter, no letting up. Oh, I'm getting smashed, oh my lord. beach town now. Honestly, it's disgusting, the amount of junk all over the place. It's just not cool, but it's a tiny bit more shelter. I've barely actually seen the beach because there's just buildings and whatnot which cover any viewpoint of it. Might get lucky here. There's heaps of those bare buildings scattered all over the place out here. Haven't been able to work out exactly what that. All the hills are done. Now it's 20 kilometres on the flat. And the job is done. Got the head down and I'm just putting down some power now. Quite keen to get it over and done with. Last 10k now. Starting to get back into the city. Hopefully there within the next 30 minutes. Then it's immediately onto the pack up. I've got to find some packing tape. It's 4:30 now. Most shops shut at 6. Got to get moving. The highway was starting to get a bit hectic, so found an alternative. That's the airport in there. Couple K to go now. All checked in. Washing done. Pack up is on. Off to town. This hotel is way too nice to have a dirty bike inside. All packed up. Time to shut the box up and head off to the airport. When I set out on this journey, I thought I was chasing landscapes, challenges and distance. But what I discovered is far deeper than that. It was the people of Albania who left the biggest mark. They opened their doors, shared a meal, offered a smile, and showed me that kindness is the quiet force that shapes our world. The mountains tested me, they pushed me to my limits, and yet it was in the small villages, in the quiet alleyways, and the warm welcomes that I found the heart of this nation, and the thought of what I hope to take with me in my own life. This adventure showed me that the most important journeys aren't measured in kilometres, but in the moments that teach you patience, acknowledgement, and connection. Albania gave me all of that, and more. I leave inspired, humbled, and changed, and I know that the lessons I've taken with me here about the power of openness and human connection will stay long after these paths have faded behind me.